You know, I started my conversations in Western Maryland right at the very beginning of the campaign, even actually in the exploratory process. And I've been back many times. And from the beginning, folks were saying, we got to pay attention to how important the health sector is to our economy. Everybody knows tourism, everybody knows agriculture. But man, if Trump has his way with Obamacare, it's going to kill our local economies. Well, I'm the only candidate with a plan to actually make sure we all have health care, have state-based, single-payer, so-called Medicare for all. That would be a boon to the Western Maryland economy, because in some counties, the health sector can be half of the economy. And if it contracts, that's devastating. But if it expands, that's a boon. So I'm the first candidate, and really I think to this day, the only candidate who's put out a real plan for dealing with the opioid epidemic in full. Part of that is to make sure we have crisis responders in every corner of the state, serving at least every 2 counties together. Right now, Hogan's given us 1. Absolutely committed to getting statewide broadband so folks can build their businesses out here. Bringing factories back. You know, when you're in Cumberland, one of the things that just crushes my heart is there's an old factory ground that has a prison on it. That's not a society that's thriving. That's just the opposite. We can build the wind turbines and build many of their parts right here in Cumberland. We've got to recognize that there's a lot more we could be doing with tourism, a lot more we could be doing with agriculture to really empower folks to add value, to also, frankly, stay sort of like one move ahead as far as climate change, and frankly, to really empower this rising generation of young farmers, of young food entrepreneurs who are organic, they're focused on what's sustainable, what's local, and really elevating their voices and their influence in where those dollars go. So all those things really come out of repeated conversations, and also, quite frankly, the importance of ending our student debt crisis and making our universities more affordable. And this is something I really carry in my heart because, see, my family started off in relative poverty in West Baltimore. My grandparents were raising my mom 70 years ago in the McCullough Homes housing projects. And what got my family out of poverty in West Baltimore and firmly footed in this Maryland dream was affordable state public higher education investment. And my granddad went to the University of Maryland School of Law when the tuition was $200 in the late 1950s. And by 1970, it was $400. And today, if it kept up with inflation, it'd be $2,600. But it's actually $31,000. Well, when you're layered in debt, you can't really start a new business. And so ending the student debt crisis is really about unleashing our economy. Making sure everybody has health care is about unleashing our economy. How many people do you know with a great idea who stay in a dead-end job because they're afraid to lose their health care? And so they don't execute that job. They don't execute on that idea, and they don't create the new jobs that it could create. Making sure our schools are finally fully funded is about really unleashing opportunity in our state. It's easy. I just got my 19-year-old nephew out of my basement. And it's easy to feel like, oh, there's a shortage of good jobs for our kids in Maryland. And then you realize how many friends you have who moved here from somewhere else for some great job here. And what you realize is, oh no, we actually have a shortage of our kids that have been trained for the great jobs that we have. And so when you fully fund schools, it means you can move more career education into the schools. We'll hold on to a lot more of our girls that way. We'll hold on to a whole lot more of our boys that way. It means that you can make sure that kids show up to school ready to learn because they've had pre-K. It also means that you can finally pay what you need to pay to recruit and retain the best teachers. Everybody, it seems, is sort of moving one county away that's a little cheaper if they're a teacher. That's ridiculous. We need our teachers in their communities, and that means that we have to pay them what it takes to actually live there.